Hello! You are listening to Talking Utter Slot, the podcast about having fun with toy cars. I'm Scott, and today I'm joined by Ian and Doug, or otherwise known as Think Scalextrics, and the guys who we're probably most of us are going to be listening to while they commentate on the races from the Slot.it Nationals at Electric Dreams in LA this weekend coming. So,
yes.
Hello!
Hello. How are you doing, Scott?
I'm great, and I'm really pleased to have you guys on. And just to give people the context, I know you've been working at the weekends because you do support stuff down at Williams Grand Prix, don't you? And then you're flying off to LA at the weekend. So in between that, you're squeezing in the business. For the very few people on the planet who might be listening to this who don't know who you are, do you want to give us a quick synopsis of who you are, what you do, and how you got to be doing it?
Yeah, I mean, that's Doug.
Yeah, you do
and that's
badges.
There we go. Get rid of script, Doug.
Are you like, is it like Ant and Dex? You've always got to be the same way round? Is that?
Let's start that again. Like Ant and Deck always got to stand on the correct side.
Yeah. We always do that.
We always do sit this way round, I think. Yeah, we do.
We try to, but yeah, we're Ian and Doug.
Yep.
We run Think Scalextric and magnetic racing. We do events, and then we build all that cool scenery that you see on people's tracks. Like grandstands and pit buildings and all that sort of stuff.
We do full track builds as well. So we've done many of those over the years for different companies and individuals and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Anything slot car related.
Yeah. Anything slot car related, literally.
So how long have you been doing that? When was the migration from you like slot cars to we can make stuff to we can run a business? How long ago did that happen, or was it quite quick?
So in 2010, we started a driving school. We'd been driving instructors for about 4 years at that point.
Okay.
And then in 2012, we thought, how can we advertise the driving school in a really fun way? So we brought a massive Scalextric set from Jadland Racing, actually, the biggest one they do. We brought that and we made a set of minis with the driving school livery on, because we thought it'd be a really fun way to advertise the driving school.
Mini roof boxes on the cars.
Yeah.
And we took it to like shopping centres. And we advertised our driving school with a slot car track.
And we had one of our driving school cars next to it.
Entice people in. Do you want driving lessons?
Yeah. And then I was like, I need to get my money back for this because it wasn't cheap. I made a website basically wondering if any other companies wanted to do the same thing as we did. And it spawned from there.
Yeah. Kid parties.
Yeah, started lots of kids parties to start with. And then as we put the prices up, because to start with, we weren't making any money. It was just like a bit of fun. Like, wow, we're getting £99 to go and do a kids' party. But then we slowly put the prices up to where it should be. And then the corporate stuff started coming in. And the rest is history, as they say.
It's interesting, isn't it? That's sort of almost like serving your apprenticeship on kids' parties, which are they're probably harder than the corporate thing, I'm guessing. So it's kind of that sort of a bit like comedians used to do that. Used to earn their spurs doing the rounds of the northern clubs, wasn't it? They had to do that stuff first.
Yeah, we still do the odd kids' party and the odd bar mitzvah.
I did a Scouts thing last weekend. So I did a charity event for the Scouts, and that was predominantly all kids. And seeing their faces, though, it does make it worthwhile. All the hard work and them de-slotting all the time. And but they're loving it. They absolutely love it. And the 5 broken cars after the event, it's
worth it, though.
It's worth it, yeah.
That begs the question. So, for those of us who sort of buy them and cherish them, this is going to be a shock. But how many cars do you get through when you're doing that sort of thing? Then
quite a few. Yeah. There's, quite a few. On a kids' party, it's 4 or 5 broken chassis, so the car is pretty much null and void then, because they snap where the glide is. They snap the chassis, so we can strip the car for parts, but the car is pretty much gone then.
Some models you can. We've got a whole box of like Nissan GTR chassis that I managed to find that Scalextric was selling. The same with the Lamborghini Gallardo. I've literally got about 50 of those chassis in a box because occasionally Scalextrics do sell spares.
Yeah.
Occasionally, yeah. It's one of those subjects is that you do wonder if other slot. I know they'd probably be quite expensive, but I think we'd still like them to be theoretically possible to buy spare parts for them. It would be good. I'm sure they want somebody like me, and it's some old bloke who's happy to go in and sit in the stores on the day and stuff things in an envelope when somebody writes in and says, "Can I have a wing mirror for my XYZ?"
I used to love the spares box. I remember going to, was it not Harrods, the toys.
Oh, Hamleys.
Hamleys.
I used to have a box. They had massive box with Scalextric bits, and it had all their motors in, all the different RPM ranges, the pinions, the gears. They had everything all in a big, nice display box, and you could pick out all different bits and pieces that you liked.
Hamleys was good. I used to go regularly for meetings up in London, and I used to make it it wasn't too much of a detour that I would get off a stop early and go into Hamleys for a wander round. And because it was, again, even back then, I'm talking 15 years ago maybe, even then it was quite rare to find shops with stuff that had on display so you could physically see it. These days it's almost impossible. So I was going to say, so you're going through ton of cars. Other question, again, coming from the kind of fan, I enjoy playing with my toy cars. Now that you're working with them, is it a bit like do you still enjoy playing with Scalextric's cars, or has it become a job?
When we can.
When we've got time. I mean, we do events and they're like, you must be really good. And we're like, actually, we come here, we set up the track, we do 2 test laps to check it's working, and then we marshal for everybody else for 4 hours, and then we pack it up. So actually, we don't actually do that much slot car racing, where people think we should be like expert geniuses.
You are.
And we still love it when we get the chance.
We still love it. We got a track that we brought from Pendle's. It was one of Pendle's old tracks that they were selling. So we brought that off them, and it's been sat in the corner. And we're actually sat in our new half of our workshop that we've just had extended. So we're going to build up our Pendle track, and so we can actually play on it and have fun with our toy cars.
Sounds good. Let me know when I can come round. I'll bring the Tunnocks tea cakes. We can have fun.
And we got a kettle, so we can be nice and British and have a cup of tea and Tunnocks tea cakes.
What more do we need? Slot cars and tea cakes.
Some Marmite toast.
So what, in that case, what is it it's very dangerous. You accuse people of being a collector, they can get very upset. But if you were if let's say the last car you bought that you quite like, let's phrase it as loosely as that. That for yourself rather than the business, what kind of thing are you into?
Doug's had a few recently.
I've been trying to sort of collect up the Nissan Skylines or GTRs, so the older models and the newer ones. I've always liked them since a kid, so over the last year when I've seen them, I've just been buying them, and I've got them stacked up in my office in there. So, but I've only got about 8 or 9, so I'm definitely not a collector.
That C word.
I mean, okay, I was going to say, I always remember the psychology of slot cars for adults was that there's a mountain of justification to yourself where you get the set with 2. And then the next biggest hurdle is when you buy the third car, because there was only 2 lanes. And once you've bought the third car, that's the dam has burst a little bit because you have to get more. And then the next significant phase is you buy the same car with a different livery on it. Because then you're really collecting paint. And then it's just, and that's it. You're an addict.
You need running partners for each car, don't you?
Exactly.
Ian,
what about you? What's your?
So I'm a big VW camper van fan. I've had them all through my life, all different ones,
real ones.
So I collect the slot car ones, mostly the Scalextric ones, the split screen ones. But most recently I got the Carrera bay window one. The red one that says Porsche on the side. My plan is to strip it down and paint it green like my last bay window that I had. I'm going to try and replicate it in model form.
I think
when I get time.
When you get this, that's the thing. You've got all the equipment, all the workshop, but you haven't got any time. That's the terrible.
But I want to resin print like the roof rack for it and everything, like exactly the same.
Wow, that's good. Well, that is because that would make. I mean, it's pretty. I mean, if any racing drivers are into slot cars, it's relatively easy for them to get a car that they drove. But for us mere mortals, it's really difficult, isn't it? You've got
you can't find a Citroen AX. That commonly, can you?
we have that issue actually sometimes when we do events for companies, and they're like, "Oh, can we race such and such a car. We're like, well, nobody's ever made that because it never raced. It never had a race livery. So no one's ever made a Ford Mondeo or whatever it is. So we have to then 3D print the bodies and then find a chassis for them. So yeah, we've done all sorts, including like football boots. We did a trolley for Sainsbury's.
We resin printed a trolley and then put it onto a chassis.
And then we did a football boot for Adidas. So we did that, made a football boot into a car.
Brilliant.
A Rob Swift special.
I was about to say this sounds like Rob Swift.
Just nowhere near as good.
Potato. His videos are just fantastically mesmerising, aren't they? You kind of by equal you sit there being really envious of his skill, but also completely enraptured by the quality of him doing it all.
It's when he says, "You just simply do this," and he gets his lathe out, and he's always doing all this with the lathe. Yeah, that's simple. Yeah.
Well, I was as a Rover SD1 owner and fan, and
I'm a fan of those.
The famous line in the Haynes manual for doing anything was first remove the engine.
Did not get past step one.
So okay, that was a little simple. So moving on then to go into LA. I think this is correct. Was it the second or the third time you did?
Third time for LA. Yeah.
So how did that come about? Tell us when did you get? Was it your idea? Was it their idea?
Marco. So we supplied Marco with product.
Yeah, magnetic racing product. He sells our stuff in his shop.
And he saw us at Gaydon. He comes down to Gaydon, and then he saw us running the zombie track and doing not zombie. It was one of the other tracks, the Swiss track. And he saw us commentating on the track, and he liked what we were doing and interacting with people, making it fun. There's quite a few tracks there at Gaydon, but you can just run a car around. But if you try and make it fun for them and a bit more interactive, he liked that. So then he asked us to
give it a go.
To give it a go and replicate that for him up in LA.
Yeah.
So obviously you said yes, and obviously it worked because he asked you back. So we know the answer to the question, but how terrifying was it?
A little bit. Yeah,
because me and him, we're not silly, but we don't know much.
Yeah.
As far as because we know much racing round and our tracks that we do, but when he asked us to do a Group C slotted race, I was like, what are these cars like? What is the technical spec? And they're like, you can chamfer off this and do this, and we don't know much technical. We play with toy cars like you. We enjoy it. We don't know all the technical thing. And Marco said that's good. He had a commentator before. They were good, but they spouted off too much jargon and all that, and it turned people off a little bit. So he said, I just want you just to talk a load of waffle on the camera and just make it fun for people and do some interviews and just enjoy the racing.
And like you said, I think there's a lot of people watching that don't interact with videos and stuff, who don't know the information like we didn't. So we were finding that information out as part of the journey. So I think that gave a lot of people information that they were maybe too afraid to ask for. And we didn't know it, so they learnt it when we learnt it. So it worked well.
I think that's the best way. Sometimes when people try to show off what they know, they just get in the way of everybody else. So no, that's great. Yeah. And I think that the other great challenge for slot cars is because they're small and they move very fast. Actually, filming them is not easy. And therefore, although you can film the races, they're kind of hard to follow, and the cars are going zip, 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 zip. Zip. So having something that kind of engages you beyond just watching the car go zip, zip, zip is absolutely perfect, really. So how when you're going to, what is it, so Saturday, Sunday, or does he do
Saturday, Sunday. So qualifying's on Saturday, the race is on Sunday. There's a lot of practice going on the Friday. So we're heading out Thursday. So we're there for the practice to get to know some people. Although it's quite nice this time because we know half of them a little bit now, so that makes it a little bit easier. But
that's good. And I'm racing as well.
Yeah, Doug's racing again.
Racing again as well. So.
Good. Well, I see. Good.
Well, taking part. I wouldn't say racing. Maybe taking part.
I know that feeling. It's like when I went down to Worthing to get to do the digital stuff. and you get put in teams, which is great. They're a really welcoming club, and just so happened the team that I got put in won the first 2 or 3 times I was down, sort of thing. So I'm very close to, yeah, I've got a medal, but I didn't win. It was these guys. I just happened to be
not wearing it now.
Yeah.
No, that would be too much. That would be too much. So in terms, so are you building up a car for that, or are you literally taking one out of the box and saying?
Taking one out of the box. Yeah, I'm just showing you can take. Although there's people there that are spending weeks and weeks and months prepping cars, there's other people there that are just literally taking it out of the box, running the double-sided tape on the tyres, and off they go. So I'm just sort of showing that you can do that there and still have a lot of fun. Yeah. And people do help you when you're there.
Yes.
So I will just be taking a car out of the box and minimal. I'll loosen the pod and all that sort of stuff. And
I'll be doing my best to put him off whilst I'm commentating, whilst I'm racing. I'll raise my voice a little bit so you can hear me.
Well, that's going to say that leads on. I can ask this because I've got an accent. How do the Americans get on? Because when you guys get excited, do you get a bit English? I mean, are they...
I think it's all right.
Yeah. I don't know the stats of how many people have turned us off yet. It seems to go down quite well, and Marco's asked us back. So.
Yeah. No, I think I must confess, I've found in my life that there's a sort of degree of welcoming. There's a degree of trust for it. So actually, I think if you were just a Texan or whatever, then it might be a bit different. But actually, there's a degree of trust. That's great. So the other thing I'm keen to ask. So you recently did and I can never remember the proper title, but the 24-hour race
the
in Italy.
24-hour race in Napoli.
Yeah. That's that nice snappy title. Yeah. I mean, I know I messaged you a couple of times, and it was like the middle of the night, and you were seemingly vaguely conscious. Did you? So take us through that one. So again, doing the races at Electric Dreams, you're there all day, and there's stuff happening, but the races are 5-10 minutes long, sort of thing.
Yeah.
How did you feel about going to try and cover a 24-hour race?
Well, that was like another step up, wasn't it? It was like, how do we talk for 24 hours and keep it engaging? It was.
We just went like we normally do. We try not to do much planning.
Yeah.
Because we end up winding ourselves up trying to do too much. We do send out emails quite often to teams, and we get them to email us back with just basic information about the team, and so we've got a few notes.
Yeah.
But apart from that, like Ian said, we try and learn as we go through the commentary.
Yeah.
So we don't want to know it all before we go. We go and then learn. As we learn and ask questions, it's that makes the content, and we grow that way.
Probably a good time to mention Silent Tim. So Silent Tim's come with us every time. So he's like, we'll send him off to go find out information, and then he'll come back with that information. So he's been really integral part of it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, this is the evolution that goes from being, talking about a race to you're doing research before the race, and now you've got a pit lane reporter. It's going to be live telemetry next.
Don't give him too much of a good title.
He'll want more money.
Well, it used to be. I don't know if you guys have been to Le Mans. You probably have, like me. But I first went. When did I first go? Early 80s. And then it was sort of 88 when Radio Le Mans started, and it was a revelation because beforehand you had no idea what was going on because the circuit commentary was in French and stuff. So it was such a great thing to have that English commentary. But as I kind of second side of that, of course, the pit lane guys who were running up and down. And I thought, well, I'm never going to drive at Le Mans, and I don't think I could do the actual classes, but maybe I could do the pit lane thing. And so for a while I harboured a notion, and then I realised they're running up and down, weighed down by batteries for 24 hours talking to me. Like, nah, maybe I would.
I'll just stick to the radio.
Yeah, so pit lane reporting definitely deserves all the credit it can get. Yeah,
it's quite interesting. We went to Monaco a few years ago and did an event. Somebody hired us to do a track on their balcony overlooking the first corner of the track. Very, very lucky.
Yeah.
Obviously, whilst the race was on, nobody wanted to race a Scalextric, so we watched the race, and it was the year when Lewis was leading. He had Max right behind him, and Lewis had a battery pack problem or something. It was the year he had the red helmet on for Niki Lauda. Anyway, we didn't know that Max had a penalty.
Yeah.
And we're like, and we were looking on our phones. We normally put like a £5 bet on the Formula One at the weekend, and we're like, oh my god, Max is like 50-1 to win this, and he's going to overtake Lewis at some point. But we didn't have any commentary. There was no commentary on this balcony.
No.
So we didn't know there was this penalty for Max. We didn't know anything.
Yeah. So we stuck £10 on it.
Yeah, and we're like, oh, come on, Max. So we normally cheer for Lewis, but but like having that commentary, if you're watching a race and you've got no idea what's going on, like it's really important to just bring the basics.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's a special challenge. Although we've chatted briefly before about the kind of the parallels between real life sport and slot cars and what you guys are doing with that versus the commentators. But I think the big difference is you can, as a real race, you can see the cars, you can see what they're doing, you can sort of. A slot car race is almost impossible to film in real time, I think.
Yep.
So it really is. You need something to just give it life and to bring it life, and also to bring the personalities out. Who are these people and where did they come from and how they're getting on?
I think Carlos and Marco have done a good job, and I think they've upped their game for the Nationals. So keep tuned on that. I think they might be
visuals.
They're doing I think they're going to do replays of some crashes and bits and pieces.
Wow!
And they're getting proper driver cards up with stats, so they can bring it up onto the screen for each driver. And obviously they've got 10 cameras onto the track where they can filter through each corner to keep it engaged. It's not just that standard, overview cam that you get, and you really don't have a clue what's going on.
Yeah, that's amazing, really, isn't it? When the statement, it's already. It was already quite a high level, and they've been stepping it up every year. So
extra plans for this one. So looking forward to it.
Hats off to them for that. So that the So I was going to say, so the National Maurizio will be there, hopefully going to unveil something new. Or maybe he'll have he's already shown the Toyota Hypercar.
Yeah, so on the Saturday or the Friday or the Saturday after the
Friday night
after the practice, they're doing a 2-hour live podcast that they do. The track call that they do. Yeah. They're doing a 2-hour live one with Maurizio. And last time, I think he revealed the Datsun, didn't he, last year?
I think so, yeah.
And then the NSR that we did there, Andrea showed something as well. So, yeah, I do believe there will be something being shown.
Good. Something to look forward to in that sense.
Yeah.
So the day job, as it were, so the two day jobs, really, because you've got events and then also the scenery and the buildings. Again, I know you started doing kind of Mila Milia, I'm saying, isn't it? You do sort of
the Targa stuff.
Targa, sorry, don't
yeah.
I knew I was getting it wrong as I was saying it. That kind of thing. So what inspired that? You've done everything else, or what's the kind of how did you?
We've had loads of customers over the years asking for it. It's a very popular. It's like the oldest motor race in the world, isn't it? The Targa. It was like the one that started the earliest, and yeah, just there's a lot of people been asking us for years and years, and we're always so busy, and it was quite. You don't want to just do one building, so we had to have enough time to be able to do like a whole set.
Whole range.
We still need to do more, but we didn't want to release one and then it'd be 4 months before we did another. So we had to make sure we had enough time. I think we've released 8 buildings now, plus 14 figures. We just needed the time really to commit to such a big project.
That's it. I was going to say, given I was talking to Dave Kennedy about that Revo slot thing where there's like 3 cars at a time.
Yeah,
we were saying exactly that. When it's a new one, great, you need lots at first. Not so sure when it gets on down the line.
Yes.
So how do you when you just take us through that? So you've got a notion to do a building or a gantry. What's the process on research and how do you design it?
Yes. Well, we could do the research. So we try to get a load of pictures and we make a big mood board up with all our pictures of what we want to create.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a real life object. If it's out of our head, then we literally just sit on CAD and just design it on CAD. But if it's a real life one, we've got loads of pictures from all different angles. I'm trying to make at the moment actually Dom Toretto's house out of Fast and Furious. So I'm building that. So I've been looking at like building plans for it. So I see how it was built and then I can make our wooden structures and build the house and that. And it's just a couple of weeks on CAD probably designing it. Test cuts, design, test cut, design, test cut.
Yeah. And then you tend to make like a carcass as well to start with for the size. to get the feel for it, because you try and make it to scale, but if you make it too big, nobody can fit it on their track anyway. So sometimes you have to scale things down to make them fit, and so you make like a carcass, as it were, to get the feel for it, and then you add the detail after. So it's quite a process.
Yeah, it's quite a process. Yeah, just for seeing like one little product.
Yeah.
You know, oh, here goes a new product. It's actually been weeks. It's been weeks and weeks. You know, it's like the car manufacturers. They bring out a car and we go, oh, we don't really like it.
Yeah.
But someone in the background, there's a whole team that have spent months designing and planning. Yeah.
Exactly. No, it's always. I think well, certainly in my time at Toyota, the fastest planning to production was 18 months, and that was very fast. Wow. And so it takes years to do that sort of stuff, and then somebody complains about the door handles or something.
Yeah.
You can never make everybody happy, but that's the thing.
Yeah.
So in terms of the way the technology is going, so obviously you talked about using CAD and stuff, and I get the machine, I'm guessing, is computer controlled the way it does the cutting.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, is there sort of something on the horizon that you're keen to get your hands on that will? I mean, 3D printing is a bit of. I understand the principle. I've never done it, so I don't. Yeah. But how is there anything kind of on the horizon that's going to make that give you another level breakthrough? Because the reason for asking the question is partly that in the old days, to make anything in any sort of role, you were literally either hand making it, each individual part, or you had to set up tooling and which was a huge cost, and you had to sell thousands of them. So it's interesting that the access to the market for the kind of things you're doing has opened up relatively recently. So do you see anything on the horizon that's going to make that a little bit more, or are we just being greedy? We want more.
I mean, it's quite a niche thing, isn't it? Like slot car, and then it's even nicher people that do scenery in it. So it's not like we sell thousands and thousands. But like having a machine that self-loads would be amazing.
Self-loading machine, yeah. You don't have to load in all the wood.
Yeah.
But no, what's good about the 3D printing is we can a lot of our products now have resin printed items in it. So
like an aircon machine,
or Dom Toretto's garage that I'm making there's a basketball hoop and a light coming out of it.
Yeah.
So Ian's designed a little basketball hoop, a little light that replicates that. So rather than just the wooden kit, it comes with a basketball hoop, the lampshade.
Yeah. The houses we do, they now come with resin printed chimney stacks on the top. So because obviously you can't make a round thing with wood very easily. With a flat laser cutter. So just adding, we're using different mediums to making the kits now.
We're looking to do more motors and LEDs. So selling like LED kits to help light up some of these buildings. Motors that help make the doors open.
That sort of stuff.
Yeah. There's a couple of other companies out there that are doing it. What's it called? Show Me Slots, I think. He's got a garage that opens up and there's a remote control, and that is really cool. Yeah. You press a button and like all the garage doors open up and the LED lights come on. I was like, I can't copy it now because he's done it, but it's awesome. It's such an awesome product. Pete from Show Me Slot Cars. Yeah, it's
it's that kind of. I'm chuckling away because it's that delight thing, isn't it? Where you sort of a little detail comes along and you think, that's fantastic. That really adds something to it. And I guess I do a bit of scale modelling. I guess the parallel is, resin parts for that, but also brass, just added even more detail to the thing.
Yeah.
You can drive yourself crazy doing that. And that's fascinating.
But we try and make these products so people can literally just put them together. You can leave them wood and put them on there.
Yeah.
Or they're a nice base to do your own scratch build. So you've got a pit building, but then feel free to chop it up and let your inner child go free, like with Lego. Do you know when Lego used to build up something? Yeah, get a couple of products and emulsify them and put them together and make something crazy.
Yeah.
No, I'm sufficiently old school on Lego that I think the only shaped part I had as a kid was this kind of triangular roof tile. Everything else was square. Yeah. This having completely shaped pits and everything. That's not Lego, that's Airfix. But anyway, that's me being an old dinosaur, which I'm allowed to be, so that's fine. I've lost my thread now, having talked about Lego. I completely turned. I was going to say, I'm guessing, and you can tell the inspiration for the Fast and Furious stuff was obviously because Scalextric have done doing the cars.
Yeah.
Is that so? Although we're all tuning into those range announcements keenly to see what's coming up, you guys have got that extra twist. I guess you're saying, "Oh, what can we? Is there some other product we can do to support it?" Yeah.
Yes, support it. Yes, definitely. And it just that's what it is basically. Yeah.
So I'm hopefully going to line up. This is a bit of it hasn't happened yet, so I shouldn't mention it. But I'm only going to get Simon from Scalextric to come on. And I'm half tempted to make a rule that he's not allowed to mention Scalextric. But anyway, that would be...
Yeah, he can't mention the word Scalextric.
We'd have a swear box kind of thing, and we'd been on it.
So he has to donate a car every time he says Scalextric.
Yeah, but it may be one of those jokes that doesn't last for 40 minutes. But anyway, so I know he's at kind of the opposite end where he gets endlessly, no matter what he launches, somebody goes, but we want X, Y, and Z instead.
So we get it with buildings. They're like, could you make it a bit taller? Could you have made it a bit narrower? I'm like, well, we could have done, but it's very easy to modify yourself. We've got to try and please 80% of the market.
Well, I must confess, I'm very much of the kind of does it come and build it the shape it is? I mean, I think it's a terrible confession, but it speaks volumes about me, not about your kit. The ESO man, the Flame Man kit.
Yeah.
I got for you guys. Started it, painted the bits, left them to dry for about 8 months, and
well, you want to make sure they're dry.
And then kind of laziness and impetuousness. I thought, do you know what? I'm just going to print off a man the right size and stick him on. So I used the framework, which looks really good, and I did. So that's I say it's more about me. I just haven't got the. I thought, that's short circuit. That'll be fine. It's over the far side of the circuit, so you can't really tell. But then it's just like I'm not very good at that kind of glue stuff. Which is why I don't tune cars. People say, the great say you just have to, as we said earlier. They go, no, I'll just take it out of the box and run it.
Yeah.
I go down a friend not far away down in Southwater. He's got a 4-lane polycar track in the upstairs of his house. His daughter's moved out and he knocked the bedrooms out and just basically built a slot car club in the upstairs of his house.
Nice.
Beautiful. Anyway, we're very lucky because he hosts folk round. And he's great because we'll go round for a race and he'll see me running the car and he'll say, give me that, and it'll disappear for 10 minutes and it comes back, it's got different tyres and shit.
The body's all loose on the thing.
Yeah. It's going about, it's going 10% faster than I can actually manage it. But I never know what it's going to do. Anyway, conscious of we're going to run out of time. So wishing you well. When you're there in LA, do you get a chance? I mean, is it lit? Again, I know from when I used to travel with work, people say, "Oh, that's lovely. You're kind of going on holiday." You go, "No, I'm airport, hotel, work, hotel."
Yeah.
But do you get a chance?
Yeah, we tried to do a day. And this one is very much a whistle stop tour. It's just going to be there and then straight back again. But no, we normally try and take a day or two either side.
Yeah, last year we went to Santa Monica Pier. We went to Hollywood, and we were very lucky to go to the private slot car museum as well. We got invited to that. That was very cool. So we do try and get out.
In Italy, when we went to the NSR, we went to
down to the marina and stuff.
Marina.
And Pompeii.
We went to Pompeii as well.
Yeah.
So we took a day after and went to Pompeii.
Yes.
Had a chill out.
So can we expect some Roman buildings anytime? No.
I'm going to make this Colosseum. It's going to be like this big, and we're going to send you the prototype to build.
Yes. We want it built and painted.
Don't hold your breath. Well, if you want it looking ruined, I can probably do that. But that's you want it looking good. Guys, listen, thank you. I appreciate the time. It's great to talk to you. Have a safe trip, and I'll look forward to pestering you at 3:00 in the morning on Twitter.
Yes, perfect. All right. 3 o'clock LA time.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
Yeah.
Cheers, guys.
Much,
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, bye.